Hi guys, it is me, Lily. Welcome back to another video. So today I'm doing another talking video. I know I did a talking video a couple months back and that was about my anxiety. Today's video is going to be about my high school experience. And it's not going to go into details. Everybody's going to have different names because I'm not going to out anybody. This is my personal perspective of high school. It's open to interpretation. I'm right in front of my window. It's open, so you guys might hear breeze, you might hear noises. It's very nice out today, so people are doing construction. There's people out running around with, you know, stuff. I don't know. I'm also drinking a raspberry lemon bloom, and I'm wearing this shirt that I just got from Target last Thursday. I was actually doing test corrections for my math class, and I went about halfway through and I was watching a video that reminded me of something in high school. So that's why I decided to make this video. I've been wanting to make this video for a while now, so we're making it. So I started high school in August of 2021. So that was my first year because my grad year was 2025. So 4 years of high school, 2021. I'm gonna put pictures of each year of my life if I can find them. When I started out freshman year of high school, I was kind of very big into Harry Styles. I still love him to this day. I was really going through it. My mental health issues started in 7th and 8th grade, so I was going to therapy. I was depressed. I wasn't on pills yet. And basically, doctors were trying to figure out what was wrong with me. Therapists were trying to figure out what was wrong with me. I had some personal issues I'm not going to be diving into, some family issues, and they just sent me into the mental state I was in. So that's why I was so clinically depressed, diagnosed with depression. I got diagnosed with GAD when I was 13 years old because they had to legally wait till I was a teenager to diagnose it. So I went into high school struggling, depressed. My best friend was in North Carolina, so we had a long distance friendship. And so that was kind of hard because I only got to talk to her over text or video call. I did go and see her in North Carolina once, but we've never met up other than that. But I was kind of like Bella Swan dressing, Rory Gilmore dressing my freshman year of high school. I had a wolf cut. I wore a mask because it was still COVID times, and I was a completely different person. I was starting to become depressed. I mean, I already was depressed, but it was just getting worse because high school was a whole new environment. Now, my high school and middle school were attached, and so it was just, the buildings were connected. My mom worked in the middle school as a lunch lady, so I would go down there and see her, or I would, we'd go see each other. We'd always meet up. Because she literally started coming to work at the school because of how bad my anxiety was. She started working there to help my anxiety because I would have panic attacks at school, and so she would be there to calm me down. I told you guys they're doing stuff. I hope that's not loud. I started high school kind of with a struggling mindset. I literally remember my first day of school. The high school is not super big. Now to me, it's not big at all, but it's one of the smaller ones in the city where I live. But at the time, it was huge, right? It wasn't middle school. There was a lot more going on, and so I was very overwhelmed. I actually had a breakdown my first day of high school because I got lost. I either went to the wrong lunch because there was different lunch times. In middle school, it was like based off of your grade. So, 6, 7, 8. It wasn't like that in high school. We had 3 different lunch periods, and it was based on your 6 period class. So you had A lunch, B lunch, or C lunch. And they all went, in order. A lunch goes first, B lunch, and then C lunch. So I had C lunch my first semester. And I was confused. It wasn't explained well to us new high schoolers how the lunch schedule worked. Also, it was still kind of COVID-y. So distance, right? Distance. All the chairs were 6 feet apart. COVID actually started my 7th grade year. So I hadn't been in middle school long. I was only in there like a year or two, and then COVID happened. Anywho, so I was getting into high school, and it wasn't very well explained, the lunch schedule, so I went to the wrong lunch and had no idea. So I went to lunch. I had no friends. I always ate by myself. And the reason, actually, the video I mentioned earlier, I mentioned a video that I just watched like 10 minutes ago, and it brought me back. There is a specific YouTuber, Markiplier, who I've loved since I was probably 9, so I've always loved Markiplier. You guys can literally see, I just watched it. Markiplier did this series in 2021. We played Phasmophobia with Bob, Wade, and Jack, who is Sean, Jacksepticeye, and I just watched it. You can literally see it's my most recent video. It came out in 2021, Phasmophobia. It's a ghost hunting game. It was so comforting to me. I was finding comfort in whoever I could. So it was like Markiplier, Harry Styles, like I mentioned. That's when I was really getting into Dean Winchester too, Supernatural. So I was finding comfort in those characters. Also Twilight, because I just like Bella Swan. So obviously I had something going on with Twilight. And at lunch every day I would sit alone and I would just rewatch the same YouTube playlist, which we'll get into that a little bit later because we're still on the first day. We're still on the first day freshman year. So my homeroom teacher, who she found me and goes, hey, so you went to the wrong lunch. You went to A lunch. You're actually C lunch. So I got to my class super late and I said, I'm so sorry, like I went to the wrong lunch. And he goes, it's fine, sit down. My math teacher my freshman year of high school eventually became the vice principal of my high school as well, and him and I have a history. But freshman year, I made a couple of friends. They're people I always knew, but we didn't start to become friends until my freshman year. And I'm not gonna say anybody's names. Everyone's gonna get a code name except my current boyfriend because he's gonna get brought up later on. So I had classes. I met this boy who transferred over from a private Catholic school to our high school freshman year. We were one of the more, not prestigious, but more well academically, high schools. We had a big ego. My high school had a really big ego. The only thing I'm going to say about my high school is it was the high school that kicked out Ryan White when he had AIDS. That was the high school I went to. So if you can figure out what that is, then you'll know the high school I went to. I don't go there anymore, so it's not like a security thing. I met this guy who transferred from a Catholic school. He was a twin brother. I'm just gonna call him Chad, okay? Chad was very close-offish. He was kind of distant and very sarcastic, right? And I've never dated before. I've had, boyfriends, but it was not serious. It was like those, stupid middle school couples that last for 2 weeks and then you break up and you're heartbroken and then you get over it in like an hour. But I met him and I just really fell for him. He was like a best friend kind of deal, but he just kind of wooed me. I really thought he was funny. I liked him, all those fun things. I just really liked him. We talked, we grew over freshman year. We would play Roblox together. We'd play Phasmophobia together. We would play Overwatch together. I had to think. And we just played all kinds of games together. So we would call, we would bond, and our families knew who each other was. It was just developing. I met a couple other friends that year. I always was friends with girls and boys. I never just stick to one. I would talk to anybody. I'm still kind of how I was back then, very shy. I don't talk to people usually first unless I feel like a burst of energy go through me. So I was very shy and awkward my first year of freshman year, and I still feel like that. It's my freshman year of college. So I look back on that time 4 years ago and I see a whole different girl. I see a girl who was depressed and hurt, was trying to do her best, but was wanting to basically herself every single day. Fast forward to sophomore year. I'm still friends with the boy, with Chad. We're still really good friends. We're actually getting even closer. I don't remember the timeline like I used to. But we were talking, and sophomore year is when him and I started dating. So there was another boy I met, I think my freshman year. He was kind of one of the weirder kids, who kind of was just kind of an outcast, but I thought he was cool. I'm gonna call him, so we have Chad, and I'm gonna call this other kid Jonathan. So Jonathan was kind of an outsider, and I was always friends with the outsiders because I never fit in either. I wasn't like an outcast, but I wasn't popular. I was known, but I wasn't popular. Does that make any sense? People knew who I was though. And so I met up with Jonathan. He was kind of funny, weird, we kind of liked the same things. And he started to develop feelings for me. Now we also had a mutual friend who I met freshman year. She was in my math class. I'm gonna call her Bethany. So Bethany, Jonathan, and I started to become a friend group. We all became really, really close. We would play Roblox late together and hang out and talk, and we had classes together, so it was great. I was starting to get my own little friend group, right? And I also had gym with Bethany, so I saw her a lot my freshman year and to my sophomore year, because you had to take gym for 2 years. Sophomore year, I had Spanish with Chad. Chad and I had Spanish together because you had to take a language at my high school for 3 years. So I took Spanish all 3 years, and I always had Chad in my classes. So I think freshman year he was in my class, and that's how we started talking, was freshman year Spanish. So one semester freshman year, and then our teacher was pregnant, went on maternity leave, so we all split. They split the class up, so I had a different teacher and so did he. But I had his twin brother in my second semester Spanish class. So I talked to his brother. His brother was a jerk, but he kind of was too, but I didn't know that at the time. Yeah, and so I had his twin brother in my class, so I would just mess with him because I thought that was funny. Lorelai Gilmore was my biggest influence my freshman, sophomore year. I was sarcastic. Also Tony Stark, any of those sarcastic characters were my biggest influences. Sophomore year, first semester, I have to think back. Jonathan asked me out. He had a real big crush on me. And I didn't really like him, but I wanted to make, God, this is so pathetic. I wanted to make Chad jealous, so I said yes. And Jonathan actually used to have a crush on me back in like elementary school. He actually, I still have them, love letters he used to write me. So I want to piss off Chad and make him jealous, so I said yes. And also we all three were kind of friends, but Jonathan and Chad didn't get along because they both had a crush on me. And I just I wanted my own Twilight. So I just was like, oh my God, I have two guys that like me. I was in heaven, bro. Every girl loves to be fought over. So I was in heaven. I loved it. I really enjoyed it. Jonathan was nice, I guess, but he had a lot of his own trauma and stuff, and he wanted to meet my family. We're also like sophomores in high school, by the way. It's not deep, but it was deep to him. He started to get, I don't know, snappy or controlling. He didn't like that I still talked to Chad. We were just friends at the time, me and Chad, but we both knew we liked each other, but no one made a move. Well, I was with Jonathan, so I wasn't trying to get with him too. We were just friends. Jonathan, Bethany, and I, remember we were that friend group. There was the three of us, and we were friends. And so whenever Jonathan would get pissed at me, he'd go tell Bethany. We called ourselves the Golden Trio after Harry Potter because they loved Harry Potter. I was Hermione, obviously Jonathan was Ron, and then Harry was Bethany. I don't know, Jonathan really liked Harry Potter. So he bought me a Hermione Funko Pop. And I remember I dumped him like a week after that, and I had to see him in the hallway, and we still had classes together, and I had to give him back the Funko Pop because he really, really wanted to be serious with me. And I was like, I'm a sophomore in high school. I like somebody else to chill. Was it wrong of me? 1000%. But I still look back and I just laugh because what a diva, bro. To get a love triangle at the ripe age of like 13, 14. Maybe I was older. Maybe I was like more like 15, 16 at the time. Anywho, so there was one night I was really struggling with Jonathan and I's relationship. This was the last night we were together. And he was just being very controlling over who I was talking to. I remember sobbing. I remember crying on the phone with Jonathan. He's screaming at me, accusing me. I don't remember what it was, but he never liked Chad because I think he knew I liked him deep down. But he didn't care that we were friends, but I don't remember what was going on. I just remember crying. And so I texted Chad because I'm such a diva, and I said, oh my gosh, Jonathan's yelling at me. And Chad was like, hang up the phone, like get off the phone with him. And I said, I don't remember. I think I said like he doesn't care about me. I wish somebody cared about me. Because remember, I was depressed and suicidal, so I wasn't really doing well mentally. And he goes, I love you. I'm into you. I've been into you since freshman year. Like, please don't let this guy affect you. I hit up the phone with Jonathan. I pick up the phone with Chad. So me and Jonathan were like thinking about breaking up, I think. I pick up the phone with Chad. We get together. And I'm technically still with Jonathan, but me and Chad get together. And I've liked him for a year and a half. He's been over to my house before. My parents liked him-ish, and so we got together. And so the next day I see Jonathan, and he looks at me and I go, we're done. And I was such a drama girl back then. So I get with Chad, and we date for like, I think almost 10 months. The relationship starts to fall apart because you can tell he didn't want to be with me. He was just very physical. He was always wanting to do something. I'm gonna share something that I've never publicly shared on the internet before, so please don't be mean to me, don't make fun of me, and don't be weird. Trigger warning, sexual assault. I'm sorry, it happened, I don't know. And I had a swing outside. We'd always go to my house because his mom was a biatch. We'd always go to my house, and there's a swing outside. So in the summertime, we'd sit out there, right? And he was a Boy Scout, which I don't know why, but I bring that up later. And he would always want to do sexual stuff with me. We never had sex, but he always pushed it. He always pushed that. And I was like 15, I remember. Our birthdays were one day apart. He was May 21st, I was May 22nd. So he was one day older than me. So we were like close apart in age. And he always wanted to be physical with me and do physical stuff. I'm not gonna dive into that because it makes me uncomfortable to talk about. I would say no, and he would do it anyway. So he would like assault me. I'd be like, hey, stop, get out, like please don't do that. And he goes, I don't care, I want to, and you're gonna like it. So he would assault me basically. I remember I spent my 16th birthday with him. Was it my 16th? Maybe it was my 15th. I spent a birthday with him. Remember, birthdays are one day apart. And I remember he told me my birthday gift was going to be, he told me my birthday present, my 15th, I turned 15, sorry, it feels like 10 years ago. When I turned 15, he told me my birthday present was going to be me. That was my birthday present. Oh God, it still makes me feel so gross. And I was so grossed out. I cried. I was like, I forced myself to say that I liked it, but I would tell him no and he would do it anyway. So he would just force himself on me, and I just, God, God. And that happened for 10 months straight. Like the first month into us getting together, he was automatically physical. Never did anything with any other boy before, and he was pushing it. He was pushing it. He had like a porn addiction I didn't know about. And he just wanted someone to be physical with. And I didn't know that at the time. I really liked him, and I liked him for who he was, but he didn't like me for who I was. So yeah, he assaulted me multiple times. And he told me my birthday present the following year, when I would turn 16, would be us having sex. That would be my birthday. See, he was just like, so he broke up with me junior year. The first week of junior year, he dumped me. And I made a friend my sophomore year. I'm gonna call her Rosa. Rosa and I thought she was my best friend for life. Like, she got me, I got her, we had shared trauma. like similar trauma experiences. I was always at her house, she was always at mine. We were inseparable. People used to call us like inseparable together. And I really cared for her. Like, she was my best friend. And so junior year, I get dumped by Chad out of the blue. I was crushed because I really liked him. I didn't process what he did to me was assault, so I thought I did something wrong. He was also very controlling over what I would wear. It was just not a good relationship, and also messed me up because I was assaulted multiple times. And that was my first sexual experience with a guy. Didn't have sex, but we had sexual experiences, so it's different. So that leads us to junior year. Rosa and I, she helps me through the breakup. I'm a mess. I'm really a mess. And this school year is when I meet my current best friend. So in English class, it was me and Rosa. I'm going to call my best friend Pookie because that's what I call her in real life. So me, Rosa, and Pookie and another girl all formed a friend group because we had to do a lot of projects for our English class. So we did group projects together, whatever. We all didn't click well together, but we forced ourselves to act like we did. Does that make sense? Everybody slowly started to turn on each other. It was getting bad. So the group starts to break up because we're all fighting with each other. We've hung out a couple times outside of, school, and we all are fighting. So we all break up, but I'm still friends with Rosa and Pookie and another girl, but she's not really relevant. But the other girl was talking crap about Pookie behind her back to me and Rosa. So everyone was talking crap about each other, and they all would come to me and Rosa about it because we were like the calmer people who would, be the mediators, mostly Rosa. But it would be talked to me. So then I would go and tell Pookie, they're talking crap about you behind your back. And I would just kind of be the person who listened and go, and then go and tell. So we all fell apart because everyone was talking crap about each other, and I kept getting told about it, and I didn't feel comfortable. So I would basically go tell the person who's being crap talked about and let them know. So me and Rosa hang out a lot. We're close. And I start to notice her be a little bit different towards me. So there was one day we were going to hang out at the mall together. Now, that was like the only thing we had in our town was a mall. You either went to the mall or you went to a park. That was it. And I remember her mom and her sister were like shopping or something, and I didn't have a car, neither did she. So we had to be taken by our parents to the mall. And so she said we're going to meet at, let's say, 1. And her mom and her were out shopping at 1. So my dad and I are on our way to the mall. And she goes, well, can you just wait like another hour or two? And we're already at the mall. Like, we're on our way 5 minutes away from the mall. And she keeps pushing back the time. But she wouldn't tell me until we already left. Because I tried to get in contact with her because I noticed she wasn't at the mall. I had her location. And she was out shopping somewhere else with her family. Now, I didn't care. But she didn't tell me until I was already at the mall that I needed to wait. So we kind of got in a big fight. The first time we ever fought, we were friends for like 2 years straight. We were always at each other's houses, best friends. But I noticed something started to fall apart, and then we had that big fight. She kept getting mad I don't remember what happened. I mean, this was only 2 years ago. It's still a big drama at my high school. People that graduated with me are still kind of pissed off at me about it. I don't remember. We were getting like a fight, and she told me she didn't want to be my friend anymore. She said I like overused her too much when I was upset, even though she'd always offer herself to listen to me. And she just kept saying I was a really bad friend, and that, Chad should have broken up with me because I was a bad girlfriend, and like nobody will ever love you. And then, but that wasn't what was told, of course. What was told was I was the bad person. And then our friendship breakup was going on, and I had a TikTok account, and this is when I get into trouble. And I said something like I was venting or whatever, and I didn't say any names or anything. And I said, I just want to push her up against the wall and be like, girl, come on. And I said, no, I'm joking, I would never do that, or something like that. I said something about pushing her up against a locker because I was like so mad at her, but I said I would never do that. Like, I'm not physical. She reported that video and said I was intimidating, so I got sent to the office. Now, remember how I told you my math teacher freshman year was now the vice principal. The vice principal handles everything, and then if it's bad, it gets sent to the principal. So my freshman year math teacher was the vice principal. Now, this is when he becomes a real dick. Like, he was so nice to me freshman year, called me, Lil. He told me I was his favorite. Now he hates my guts because he thinks I'm secretly a bad person. Because Rosa was loved by everybody. Everybody loved Rosa. So when we had the friendship breakup, I automatically was the bad guy because Rosa would never do anything. And her version of the story was a little bit more twisted, where I was threatening her and I was just saying all these mean things to her when really I was getting everything said to me, but she didn't want to tell anybody that. So her friends were band kids, and if you guys know anything about band kids, they gossip like no tomorrow. So they were spreading rumors about me from her. Spreading rumors around the school about me, and I heard about it. It came back. I was still friends with Bethany at the time, and kind of Jonathan, but not really. But everyone started to turn on me once me and Chad broke up, because for some reason Chad was spreading rumors that like I was a slut and I was like a hoe, which I never was, and he was threatening to leak nudes of me. it was just getting crazy because he would beg for nudes. And since I didn't know any better, because he would guilt trip me if I didn't do it. So there's a lot to Chad that I don't talk about because he was not good to me. But a part of me still cares for him because he was the first boy that ever made me feel special, but it wasn't real. It was real when we were friends, but then as it started to get romantic, he changed completely. So he was always that way. But I didn't know any better because I was young and naive and just wanted to be loved because I had issues. So rumors are getting spread about me by my ex-boyfriend and my ex-best friend. So it's just going downhill for me junior year. But me and Pookie are best friends and she stays by my side through all of it. Dude, it was rough junior year. I still remember I was in therapy, dude. Anywho, I got in trouble by the vice principal. They said I was cyberbullying. I said it was a joke. Rosa knew it was a joke, but she wanted to get back at me for being mad at her. So she reported me. And since... Wait, I forgot a whole chunk of information. Shoot, I forgot something. That is why he got mad at me. So I forgot something. I'm sorry. So right before me and Rosa quit being friends, I posted on social media like a breakup thing. Like there's like, you know, breakup trends. I posted my own one. And I called him and I think I said something like, you meant everything to me, but at the end of the day, you're just a stupid little Boy Scout. Remember how I said he was a Boy Scout? I said something about like, you're just nothing but a Boy Scout because he called me a slut. And that got reported for cyberbullying. His mom hated me, dude. She wanted me, oh my God, people keep looking at me. I wonder if they can hear me. She hated me. So every time I would say something on social media, once again, I was like maybe 15 years old. I was young. And I didn't say names, I was just venting. But people were watching because they knew I did social media. It's not the same accounts I use now, by the way, but people from high school still like to poke their heads on there. Anywho, so he reported me for cyberbullying, and then his friends would harass me in my comments and call me a slut and a host, and then I would report them back. So for about 6 months, before me and Rosa had the whole friendship issues, it was just back and forth reporting each other. I would report his friends. His friends would report me. It was back and forth, right? Also, this is my side, so I don't know. It may be different for other people, but this is just what I remember from that time in my life. Everybody hated me. Because now we got an ex-boyfriend and all his gooners spreading lies about me, and everyone doesn't know me well because I'm so quiet and so closed off, so they hear this stuff, they believe it, because this guy's a Catholic kid, so why would he lie? So yeah, there's lies being spread about me, and this is like August to December when this is going on with the ex-boyfriend and reporting each other. I was constantly in that freaking office, and I even was threatened with suspension. So we kept going back and forth. And then Jonathan became best friends with Chad, and then they started hating on me, so then it just kept evolving into more drama. So, you know, my friend stuck by me, Rosa stuck by me, Pookie stuck by me, and then January comes, and that's when me and Rosa had that fight about the mall, and then I say the locker thing. So the vice principal already hates my guts and thinks I'm the bad guy. And he even told me, this is your fault, this is happening, you should have, I don't remember, he said something like, this is your fault that people are leaving you, it's your fault, you're obviously the problem. They were very abusive to me in the office. They could have approached it differently because I wasn't being mature, and they would just like cuss at me, and I would be sobbing because they would just be screaming at me. They never liked me, right? So I just was very victimized in the office, and I'm not saying what I did was right at all, but it could have been approached differently. But they kept believing other people's stories. I would tell my side and they'd be like, no, that's not true. Why would I lie? To save my own ass? But I had receipts, I had proof, and they still didn't believe me. They believed everybody else who didn't have any proof. So it was just kind of coming odd, right? So we had that friendship drama, and her and I keep getting in the office again. So this is the second scenario where I'm constantly in the office. Rosa and her friends keep reporting me. They're also stalking my accounts, harassing me and stuff like that. And then I think I said on TikTok or something that people are stalking my pages and stuff. And they used that also as cyberbullying when all I said was they were looking at my page. So they were just like picking out straws to try and get me suspended because they knew the office hated me. So Rosa knew because of the boyfriend drama that she could use that against me. So she started making stuff up so I could get in trouble. So it just became very evil at the end of the day. And then everyone was on her side because remember, she was the good girl, right? So everyone hated my guts. I would get whispers in the hallway. People would look at me. But Pookie always stuck by me though. She never left my side. So junior year was a fucking nightmare, dude. I still have nightmares about that stuff. Fast forward to like March. This is when I meet Brady, my boyfriend. I start a new job somewhere and I meet him. And my world turns because it's my boyfriend. And he's a band kid, so he heard about the drama. But he is the kind of guy that doesn't believe that stuff. He listens to both sides of the story. He's always been a good-natured person. So we meet and he went on a date with one girl and he didn't like it. He said that she took advantage of him. Not like that, but like financially, because he worked and she didn't. She was younger. So he ditched her, started dating me. They didn't date him and the other girl, they went on a date. But the girl figured out that he was talking to me and they don't like me, remember? So he goes, well, I like her, so if you don't like her, then don't talk to me anymore ever again. So they don't talk anymore. Anywho, so we start dating. Life is amazing. There were so many rumors about us junior year because I'm hated. And then my boyfriend is so loved by everybody. So people were like, why are you with her? Why are you with her? And then his friends started rumors that we were having sex. We weren't. But they were making rumors about it because, remember, people didn't like me. The band kids didn't like me. So his so-called friends would make rumors about me. They're not friends, really, anymore. So junior year was just drama, drama, drama. Senior year rolls around. Pookie's still my best friend. I'm still with Brady. I'm still with Brady today. And Pookie is still my best friend today. So we all stuck together senior year. And I was still getting talked about. There was still drama surrounding me. But I just stuck with my two people. And I made it through. And I graduated. So senior year was my chill year. I was just basically trying to make it. So I apologize. Because this video has been almost 30 minutes as recording. I'm sure I'm going to trim it down, but most of the drama is freshman, sophomore, senior year, or freshman, sophomore, junior year, and then senior year was like no drama. I was working, I was job shadowing, I worked at the vet clinic. I started my vlog channel my junior year of high school, right before all the drama went down. So I look back at the videos and I remember, and I'm like, oh God. So overall, my high school experience, I was always the outsider. I was always the nerdy, quiet girl who always read books. So I was never popular, never had a lot of friends, but I always ended up with the weird people because I was weird myself, you know? I may look normal, but I'm not. I was a FNAF kid, Markiplier kid, you know, all the stuff like that. Yeah, I'm still kind of who I was back then, but I'm a little bit more mature now. Whenever Chad and Brady would see each other, it would be a stare off. They don't know each other well, but Brady told me when he saw Chad, when he came to school freshman year, he ran into him once. And because Brady was always a nice guy. He always said, hey, nice to meet you. I'm Brady. Welcome to Western. If you need something, let me know. He was always that nice kid. I remember he said Chad and his twin brushed him off and started making fun of him because he was being nice. And actually, I didn't know this. Brady was in my freshman year biology class with me, Chad, and the twin. So he watched me and Chad talk and flirt. And I remember Brady told me, he goes, I thought you were so beautiful. I wanted to ask you out, but you were talking to Chad. So he's always thought I was pretty. But yeah, it was just a lot of fucking drama. A lot of drama. I was so glad to leave that place, but I feel like everyone has drama in high school. I feel like it's not normal for anybody, but that was my high school experience.